Richard Petty holds the record for the most races started and run in one racer's career. Jeff Gordon recently became NASCAR's all-time Ironman. That same weekend, the Truck Series celebrated its 500th race. All of them important and special in their own way, shape, and form. Today, I'm not going to talk about anything close to that. Today, I bring you a countdown of drivers who has done only one NASCAR National Touring Series race ever. Yeah, that's right. These guys have only one start between the Cup Series, Xfinity Series, and Truck Series combined. Now, this could be for a variety of reasons. It could be a home thing. It could be a special race thing. They may have wanted to avoid the what-if questioning for the rest of their lives. Or they could be just infamous or flat-out suck. Either way, I have searched a bit for drivers that could fit this category, and it turns out there's a lot. But thanks to Racing Reference and a few YouTubian buddies who've assisted me in this countdown as well, I bring you Top 10 Countdown. NASCAR One and Dones. Okay, for this first segment, I have a four-way try of drivers who have relatives that are more known in NASCAR. But these guys have made one start each in one of the top series of NASCAR. So let's begin with this guy. Now, if you don't know this guy, this gentleman is Buzzy Rudiman, who is David Rudiman's father. He made one NASCAR start in a NASCAR race at Tampa back in 1963, resulting in a 10th place finish, which is actually the best finish among all of the drivers in this countdown. So good for him. The next driver you see, well, it's kind of funny because when I was doing my searches looking for pictures of these people, the next person is actually the only person I could not find a picture of. Now, obviously you know that these guys are not the driver in question because this guy I don't know, this guy is a drag racer, and this guy is one of my road racing favorites. It's actually this guy's dad. Yeah, the driver that also got in this portion of the countdown is Boris Said's father, Bob Said, who, you probably don't know this, actually made one NASCAR start all the way back in 1959 at the inaugural Daytona 500. He did not do well. He finished 50th, so yeah, that did not go well. The next person you see here is related to a person who's related to a NASCAR Dozen member. The driver you see here is Travis Sauter, who is actually Tim Sauter's son. His one NASCAR start ever was actually at an Iowa race all the way back in 2013, where it resulted in a 30th place finish. And of course, nothing involving this list could be complete without this guy. You don't know who he is, do you? Well, what if I told you that he was the father of a NASCAR Dozen member? Yes, this guy. Do you know who he is? Do you know who he is now? No, Racing Reference did not mess up my favorite driver's page. This is actually the Racing Reference page for my favorite NASCAR driver's father. That's right. This is the area for one Johnny Benson Sr. This is Johnny Benson's dad, in case you haven't figured it out. His one NASCAR start was actually at his home area, which, of course, like JB Jr., is Michigan. And it was back in 1973 where he actually got a pretty good 21st place finish. If anything, he can always have bragging rights over his son about having the better NASCAR debut. Because if you don't know, JB Jr.'s debut was actually a last place finish in what is now known as an Xfinity race after a lap 1 flip. Yeah, I think Senior got the bragging rights in terms of better NASCAR debut. Anyway. International flavor is something that's always been known within the NASCAR world over the last decade. And that includes this guy. Now, this is a German road racer by the name of Klaus Braun. Now, he's made a few attempts of trying to get into NASCAR, but he only managed to make one start at the infamous Infineon race in 2004. I say infamous, and if you saw my worst WWE pay-per-views, you'd know why. As for Klaus, he finished a pretty respectable 17th at the Sonoma Road Race. So that was pretty cool of him. Now, unless you're a super ARCA expert, odds are you probably don't know this guy all that well. Well, he is actually ARCA veteran Darrell Basha. He actually has made only one NASCAR start in what is now known as the Sprint Cup Series. And that start was all the way back in 1979. It was at Nashville, which resulted in a 24th place finish, which also in the races where he started. Kind of makes me curious why he hasn't tried racing in NASCAR since. The next two people on this countdown are both known for dirt racing. But since both of them are in different forms of dirt racing, I have decided to separate them. Now, the first person is probably more known for his midget racing, which is the smaller variations of the World of Outlaw cars. And the reason I know him so well is because that's one of my dad's favorite forms of racing. So in case you don't know this guy, this is a guy by the name of Cory Krouseman, who, as you can see, has also tried multiple attempts of trying to get into NASCAR races, but has only managed to succeed once, so he does have one start. That start did not go particularly well. It was a 2002 race, and he finished 31st. Like Cory Krouseman, this guy is also known for dirt racing. However, this guy's dirt racing is in late models, which is probably my dad's favorite kind of racing, the dirt late models. And he always watches out for this guy whenever he races, including his one Truck Series attempt in 2013 at Eldora. This is Scott Bloomquist. Now, interestingly enough, he was supposed to be one of the favorites for the inaugural 2013 Eldora truck race. Unfortunately, it did not go that well. He actually started pretty far in the back in 21st, and actually finished worse than that in 25th, in one of Kyle Busch's trucks. I am curious, though, why he decided not to try again at the next couple Eldora truck races. Conflict of schedule? I don't know. Perhaps he'll return one day, but as for right now, he qualifies for this list, so yeah. This racer managed to make the list because I saw a video about him on one of my YouTubian favorites channels. Now, I don't have an exact picture of him, but I do have footage from the actual race, in which you can see him here. This is a driver by the name of Pat Jones. And he has one of the most infamous race debuts and probably racing careers, because he raced once in 1991 out of a possible 4 starts. I know Racing Reference said there were no DNQs, but the racing footage said he tried 3 times previous and DNQ'd all 3 times. And apparently this was the only race Pat Jones made, and his race resulted in a very hard wreck that broke his foot. That's kind of crap if you have a career, you have 1 start in any of the 3 big series in NASCAR. Well, 2 back then in his era, since it was 91 and the trucks weren't around yet. But anyway, it's still kind of crap if you have 1 start in NASCAR history among the National Touring Series, and it results in you crashing hard and breaking your foot. Yipe. I could see why he did not try to race in NASCAR again. Yeah. But anyway, here's the rest of the footage.
And we see the leaders coming out of turn 4, and now Pat Jones, the rookie, has impacted the concrete retaining wall very hard at the exit of turn 4. Everybody skates by nicely, but we're under caution for the 2nd time this afternoon.
Pat Jones, a rookie from Columbus, Ohio, came south. This is his 4th attempt to qualify for a Grand National show this year. Failed to make 3 the previous efforts. Did make the field for this race, but he had a rather rude introduction to the wall. His car has come to rest at just short of the start-finish line by about 10 feet.
He really pounded that fourth turn wall. You see here on replay, Jones' car starting to spin now, moving to the outside. It fishtails and then takes a hard turn to the right, hits almost directly head-on into the concrete retaining wall, and you can see the front end of that car buckling, but you see the roll cage of the car keeping the driver very well protected. But Pat Jones really ripped the wall. That's a rookie driver from New Lebanon, Ohio, and that used to be a Pontiac.
Now it's a subcompact.
There we see a picture of Pat Jones, age 38, and they say now from New Lebanon, Pennsylvania. But a very hard lick, and a lot of times you try to fight the car, try to overcorrect, you'll get that fishtail back to the right. When it cuts hard to the right like that, you're going to hit the wall a ton, and that's exactly what Pat Jones did. And we see now Pat Jones on a stretcher, and they'll take him to the infield medical center here at the Volusia County Speedway and check him out. But a very hard impact, but he did appear to be talking to the safety crews, and of course that's always a good sign. And we see some work still going on in the garage area as they're working on one of the machines that was damaged in the first crash of the day, or that may be the Pat Jones machine that had severe damage done to it when it hit almost head-on in turn 4. And you can see that from the nose of the car all the way back to the motor, including the radiator, just completely destroyed. That is the Pat Jones car. Apparently he has hurt his foot, but basically he is okay, and that is certainly good news. You see him now limping off to the infield medical center.
A rather painful debut for this Ohio driver. He is indeed from the Buckeye State.
Now, what if I told you that one of the all-time legends in NASCAR history has made only one start? You probably think I'm crazy, right? Probably not, because this person on the screen right here has made only one NASCAR start. It was back in 1952, and he didn't do all that great. He finished 18th out of 19. But the person actually in this picture is Smokey Unic. Yeah, I'm not kidding. He's actually made one NASCAR start. Now, the intriguing thing about this race, he had another car in the race, and it won, of course. But, yeah, Smokey Unic actually made one NASCAR start. I was very excited about this discovery. And there's other intriguing discoveries that you'll find out in the next segment. Now, nowadays you hear about drivers from NASCAR moonlighting in other series. You hear about Kurt Busch and AJ Allmendinger going to the Indy 500 and racing in it, and doing pretty good, actually. And even one time, Kurt Busch moonlighting in drag racing, thanks to Pro Stock's Alan Johnson. Grr. But anyway, it turns out that IndyCar has actually been known for drivers moonlighting in NASCAR for one start. In fact, 3 of the big stars have actually done it. Take a look at this first picture right here. No, it's not the guy in the middle. It's not one of my guys. It's actually the guy on the left. That's Buddy Rice. Now, you probably don't remember his one start in NASCAR because it's the same race where Brendan Gaughan said,
"We had a Dodge that could win the championship, and Jimmy Smith can kiss my ass."
yeah, Buddy Rice's one NASCAR start was that 2003 Homestead Truck Race. Yeah. He actually finished a kind of decent 20th place. And, well, it's not well known at all because of Brendan's rant. And all that other stuff that happened during that race between the championship people. Anyway, actually, a decade before that, 2 other racers in IndyCar's long history actually made their first and only NASCAR starts. Now, all the way back in 1992, this guy, who you know as Scott Sharp, actually made one NASCAR start at Watkins Glen back in 1992. And actually finished a pretty decent 19th. Not bad for road racing and your first start in NASCAR, considering how difficult that track was back then. Yeah. And anyway, the other driver, and this was kind of a surprising one until I looked it up. Back in the awesomeness that was the 1993 Daytona 500, Al Unser Jr. made his first and only NASCAR start. He did not fare well at all. He started 40th, got crashed out, which led to this. He wasn't in it, that's Bobby Hillin and Kyle Petty, but anyway, he was involved in this little crash right here and finished 36th. Well, later on you get to hear one of the most awesome calls in NASCAR history. But anyway, it turns out that IndyCar has had drivers foray into NASCAR. And actually didn't do as well as NASCAR invading IndyCar. Kind of makes me curious who the next person who, in IndyCar, would try NASCAR would be. Even if just for one start. I just add you to number 3 on this list. Woohoo! And now it's time for the 2 guys who were the inspiration for this countdown. Let's begin with this guy. You probably don't know him right off the bat, but once you see the following footage, you probably will.
Ty Dillon with the advantage. Elliott right on his back, but looking to the inside at 10. They make contact. Elliott spins the 3. The 3 into the tires. And Chase Elliott trying to hang on. Across the stripe he'll go. Elliott wins in Canada.
Mike Skeen has spun around. Max Pappas around. There's 2 guys right now, Mike Skeen and Max Pappas. They were racing for the 3rd spot, which turned into the 2nd spot. They're not happy with each other.
Incredibly torn up trucks. Look at the right side of that 6 for Mike Skeen.
Yeah,
and the right side of the 14. We've got quite a few that aren't happy. Mike Skeen and Max Pappas definitely not happy.
They've had a couple laps to ride around along with each other, talk to each other to show their displeasure.
So they tried to talk with helmets on. 14 straight top 10s, and we've seen that before. Max Pappas has actually slapped.
Yep, this is Mike Skeen, the guy known for that little incident with Max Pappas. Yeah, after this little rage out between he and Pappas, he actually ended up finishing 13th, and then we had that little incident where his wife slapped Pappas. For whatever bizarre reason, NASCAR decided to give her a lifetime ban, which is why we probably have not seen Mike Skeen since. I understand that he is a road racer, so you'll probably catch him in that area and probably nowhere else. And now it is time for what probably is the worst NASCAR debut of all time. Yeah, if you have the same YouTubian favorites as me, you probably are well aware about the adventures of Nur Ali. Yeah, this guy who's mainly known for road racing and apparently is successful there, tried one start in the Xfinity Series in 2012 at Kansas, and it did not go well.
I was coming in onto pit road. My spotter told me it's all clear. Come on in. Had already passed the apron, so I was coming in like I would in a race situation. Hugging the I guess it's the white line, I guess, between 3 and 4. Hugging it, pointing my car towards pit road, and the 40 just came on the inside and passed me and just slammed me. I mean, at the end of the day, I haven't seen any video yet, but I'm thinking that there's everything on the right-hand side that he could have used. I mean, he knows that I'm getting ready. I'm waving at him.
Okay, here's the video we're going to show you. There's the impact you're talking about.
I missed it. I would have to see it again.
Okay, we're going to show you one more time. Take a look at the monitor.
It's clear he's already going onto the apron. I don't know why he was doing that. Was he planning on coming in as well? I mean, it's pretty clear that cutthroat that, hey, I was already on the inside coming in. He had all the real estate on the right-hand side, or he could have slowed down if there was a car on the right-hand side. It was simple. He's got more miles than I do, so he needs to be, you know, more attentive. I'm doing my best. It's a learning curve. I understand. I apologize if I had done anything wrong, but from what I'm seeing, I clearly had the spot. I had the car facing towards pit road, and I was going in, and he didn't have to go to the left or to the inside of me. He could have gone on the outside or slow down, let the other car pass and gone. There would have been no incidents at all.
and I'm proud of you. But when the leaders come up and start passing you, we're going too slow.
Okay, 10-4. I gotta pick up the speed when the leaders are passing me. Understood. 10-4.
So wait till they get there and then go.
I hope there's more conversation we didn't hear. No, he doesn't have this exactly. Need to pick the speed up before they get there. That could be big if he's going to wait till they get there.
He was running 28th at the time.
That thing snapped around on him, didn't it?
Yeah, it was down on the, looked like he was down on the apron, though, with the left front tire.
That'll get you loose.
It was so bad, NASCAR did not approve him trying to start what apparently would have been his next event at Texas. So apparently he just left after that. We have not seen this dude since in NASCAR. In fact, I have no clue what he's doing now. I assume he's back to his road racing stuff in whatever series he's in. But anyway, that's it for this top 10 countdown of NASCAR one and dones. I enjoyed doing this project. I learned a lot of things. It was definitely one of the most intriguing countdowns I have ever done. So thank you everybody for watching. And I hope you guys continue to tune in for the top 10 countdowns. This is Ultimate 23 Dragon, and that's my final answer.
Here comes Forrest Shed, drag racing to the finish line, side by side. Who's going to get here first?